Also, I got my first manager. I'm grinning because this one's a little spicy. In late 2022, I was taking voice lessons, and my voice teacher, one lesson, was like, hey, I want to refer you to my daughter's manager because I just think you're really talented, and I don't know, like, take a meeting with her, see how you like it. So we took a meeting with this lady, and I liked her. She seemed nice. She said that she liked my look. This is around the time where, like, diversity initiatives were really big. Managers, agents, they were signing on more talent of color. She likes me. She signs me. I'm super excited because the first audition she gets me, literally the first audition, was for a guest star episode on Grey's Anatomy. I was so excited. It was like within 2 weeks. I didn't have any good material. Like, I just had like a bad self-tape and some like footage from like an old high school student film. That's pretty much. I was just elated because it's exactly what I wanted. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is it. I'm doing it. I take this audition. It's very heavy emotional subject matter. Okay. The character is described as a young South Asian woman who is dealing with like a potential loss of a baby, you know, very heavy. She's described as young South Asian. Nothing really ever stated beyond that. I call up a coach and I say, hey, I really need help with this self-tape. It's supposed to be done or submitted by like afternoon, but then I was doing the self-tape in the morning because that was the only time he had. And I wanted to get it right. I wanted to be perfect. So I was doing the self-tape and we're wrapping up and we're done. And she texts me and she says, hey, when are you going to send the tape? Like, send the tape, please. Like, send the tape. She was kind of breathing down my neck. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to send it. And she sends me a text message that makes my stomach drop. She said, did you do a take with an accent? And I just was like, huh? And mind you, in the breakdown, no description of an accent. And I was just like, okay, let me not jump to conclusions. So I was like, what do you mean? She calls me, which I thought was very interesting that she called me. She didn't want that on like a text thread. And she says, okay, so the breakdown says that she's South Asian. I was like, cool, yeah, correct. She's like, do you want to play South Asian? I was like, I don't really play it. I am it. You know what I mean? And she was like, okay, do you want opportunities? Do you want to get seen? Do you want to like stand out among people? So like you generally want to do a take with an accent. And I was like, a South Asian accent? And she was like, yeah, doing a take with an accent would be like, it would help you stand out. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with what you're requesting me. She said, honey, I've been in this business for 15 years. Which was just like, okay. I don't know why. I imagined her with old Hollywood, a thick, like, cigar. I've been in this business for 15 years, okay? You gotta do an accent. If you want to get seen, you want to get a Hollywood Walk of Fame or whatever, you gotta fucking do an accent, a South Asian one, okay? Okay, so anyways, I was just dumbfounded. I get off the phone. Before that, she tells me essentially, like, do it next time. My coach immediately was like, I don't know what was said on that call, but I don't like it. I was just like, oh my God. Like, this shit is still happening? Like, still happening. My God, I thought the shit had, like, gone away. I would assume that Mindy Kaling or Aziz Ansari, some of these, like, bigger South Asian names, probably had dealt with that, like, so much, you know? But I just truly thought it died down or just, like, was not a thing anymore. I was very upset. I was like, let me calm down. Let me not get Twitter fingers. Let me just, like, And I drafted this email. And I wanted to be in earnest. I want to come in earnest and be very gracious for the opportunity that I was given. But also be like, hey, the breakdown didn't say that there was an accent. Why is it assumed that she has to be like fresh off the boat? I also want to add the character's name was Meadow Fisher. I don't know how many people you've met like straight from India, but like I could venture to guess not a lot of them have names like Meadow Fisher. Even if they are, like, Christian, though, because I know someone would be like, well, if they're Christian, but even then, they usually have, like, really fucking biblical names, like Emmanuel. So, I sent this email, and I basically was also saying, like, hey, I'm not opposed to accents at all. If she's from India, just, like, let a homegirl in on, like, where's she from? Is she from Tamil Nadu? Is she from Gujarat? Is she Pakistani? Again, South Asian. Like, that's 8 different countries. And she replies in less than an hour. She basically said, I don't know where you get off. I don't know how you could have possibly taken my advice in the wrong way, but I simply said, do a South Asian accent to show range. How could you possibly take that the wrong way? And then she dropped me. Yeah, she dropped me. And I was so devastated. I was like, so devastated. I was like, oh my God, I screwed up. Oh my God, she's gonna tell all of Hollywood. Oh my God. I was so sad. Like, I was just so sad. I thought I like screwed up my chances completely. And I replied back and I was like, I don't know if like my email came off wrong. I appreciate what you've done. I don't feel comfortable doing an accent like that. I still think it's so funny that she said South Asian accents. It's 8 countries! Do you, like, tell people do a North American accent? Like, no, you say do Brooklyn accent. Do an, I don't know, like a Southern California, like, you don't, like, accents are regional. Like, I just was like, what is not clicking? Anyways, she drops me, and the next day, I'm in a meeting with like a client because I was like freelance copywriting. And she says, hey, I have an audition. Please respond within the next 15 minutes or I will be canceling it. And I was like, I let a smooth 45 minutes pass. And I called this woman back and I said, hey, I'm really confused. You dropped me. So what do you want? And she said, I have an audition, and I have several others that are probably also pending. So I just wanted to give you the opportunity to take them or not. And I said, well, what is this particular audition? And it was for an audition for an episode of Barry, I believe. And I was like, do I have to submit to you? Do I have to like give the tapes to you? And she was like, no, you'd have to like submit it directly to the casting director. And I was like, you know what? I'll take that one and you can cancel the others. And she said, you want me to cancel the others? And I was like, yeah, I want you to cancel the others. I want you to cancel all the rest of the ones that you've submitted me to, all of the other pending auditions, anything else. I'll take that one and I'm good. And that's the last I ever heard from her. So yeah, there's a silver lining to this. I talked to a lot of different South Asian actors and I talked to teachers and people like that because I was starting to feel a little sad. I was like, is this what I'm gonna have to deal with? And most of them, pretty much all of them, reassured me like, no, this is not normal. Do not accept this as a norm and you don't have to do this if you don't feel comfortable. Fast forward, I got a new manager. Funny enough, my new manager, the girl who ended up booking that Grey's Anatomy role, with my new management company. All that to say, in the process of finding an agent and manager, going through auditions, all that jazz, there are 3 distinct things that I learned. 1, signing actors is like investing in the stock market. Like, not every actor is going to be like a starlet, right? Not every actor that you sign is gonna be the next big thing. But if you sign enough of them, like one of them is bound to like whoosh. Also, if you bundle a ton of actors together into like an index fund, almost like an ETF, it's like a decent revenue generator if like enough of them have like somewhat consistent booking in terms of like co-star, guest star commercials. It was just kind of interesting to see like how many actors get signed, drop, sign, drop. Like the second thing that I learned, there are a lot of people that are exploiting the actor's desire to be seen. Business coaches, package deals for like astronomical amounts of money, promising like X amount of booking rate. There is like no certainty in this industry. There's no stability. It's like you're dealing with like the business of perception and timing. Perception, timing, zeitgeist. There's a lot that obviously goes into it, but I think those are like kind of the 3 dominant things that I noticed. Anything that is guaranteeing anything is probably not worth it. And the things that are probably worth it are really just about consistency, like going to a class, doing like a scene study, doing like a movement class. Things surrounding like education, I think, are definitely worth it. The third thing, I know it is very trite advice, but I think the less you attach to outcomes, the happier you'll be doing this art form. It doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't have like goals for yourself. You should probably get an idea of like, okay, if I'm just not getting where I need to be, there's something missing. Like maybe I need to go to a class, like maybe I need to like read more scripts, maybe I need to read more play, blah, 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 right? But at the same time, the joy is in the creation. Again, I know it's hackneyed, but it is in the creation. That is why I am glad that I didn't have acting be the thing that puts bread on the table. I would be attaching a lot to outcome and that would make me extremely unhappy. The more that I detached from outcome, the more happy I was in actually creating things. It doesn't mean that I don't think that there are big things in the woodworks for me. To write and like bring words to life through expression, as soon as I was a conscious being, it was the most natural, normal thing for me to do. I think it is absolutely the thing that I was meant to do. But at the same time, I am not going to be unhappy until I win an Oscar. Like, that is not how I'm going to live my life. Do I ultimately want to make great success in this industry? Of course. But it's not devastating or it's not the end of the world if like that doesn't happen. I'm always going to be an actor. That's never going to go away. And again, I do think that it's my calling. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful to any actor who's starting out, who's sort of like in the same phase as me, like sort of developmental, like represented, has taken classes, has done some theater, but is like not anywhere near like working actor. We're in it together, man.